What's going on? What's going on? All right. So let me make sure that my audio is correctly set up real quickly. And it looks like it is. That carried over. All right. I just finished up a live stream where I went over the motion to dismiss. Very strong motion that was filed by my attorney, Dustin Talbot. And as I ended that live stream, I announced the brand new podcast series, the RICO Tapes. A lot of people they just don't understand the transition, like how things have gotten to this point and how they can, and this goes to showing exactly what all has happened, how it's gotten the level of involvement that it's gotten. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I figured I would speak for just a second, just to kind of let people on, let the notifications go out. And it's very slow at building, it looks like. I don't know why this is weird, because when I premiered this on We the People News just a little while ago, it reached nobody. It had less than a handful of people that were on it. But yet when I did the whole motion to dismiss just now, it loaded up at first and stayed, a solid amount of people on there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this, okay? And let you get a solid understanding for what happened with this public corruption gone wild. And there needs to be transparency and accountability on this. So enjoy this podcast. I hope you come back and you check out the other episodes as well. There's a new app set up for it. It'll be live tonight on ricotapes.online. Here we go.
May 2008. The name Camp Devil Dog might sound like something out of a war movie, but to us, it was just another Marine Corps training base, an isolated post where the days blended into one another, and air carried the smell of sweat, dust, and gun oil, and the rules were as much a part of life as breathing. On that particular night, I was assigned to a roving post. Roving meant motion. You moved through your assigned area in regular intervals, stopping at checkpoints, scanning for anything out of place. In training environments, the most dangerous thing you usually encountered was boredom. But boredom wasn't on the schedule that night. The Marine assigned to us Armory Watch was Lance Corporal Bradley Foust. He wasn't particularly outspoken, not someone you'd pick out in a crowd, but not invisible either. Like many of us, he carried burdens that weren't visible on the surface. As Armory Watch, he had access to the weapons. That's what the position meant. It was a responsibility that the Corps took seriously, entrusting Marines with guarding the very tools of our profession. The night air was still, punctuated only by the occasional call of distant wildlife and the familiar sounds of a military base at night, generators humming, the occasional vehicle passing, boots on the gravel, as Marines moved between posts. I had just completed my check of the eastern perimeter when it happened. No one saw it coming. No warning signs that night. No whispered confessions. Just the sound, that unmistakable sound of an M16 set to 3-round burst. In training environments, gunfire was tightly controlled. Live rounds at that hour, in that place, were never part of the plan. Not only was I close enough to hear it, but I was also close enough to see it. Close enough to get there quickly, but not quickly enough. The scene was something you don't forget. The way the human body collapses when it's no longer alive. The smell of cordite in the air. The weapon still near his hand. The armory racks standing silently behind him, like mute witnesses. Lance Corporal Bradley Foust had made a decision from which there was no return. Within hours, the officers were there. Not just the on-duty supervisors, but higher-ranking men whose boots didn't usually touch the concrete outside their offices. They took control, ordered Marines back to their quarters, and secured the scene. The base became a flurry of activity. Medical personnel, military police, chaplains moving with purpose through spaces usually defined by routine and order. When the paperwork was done, it said training accident. That label carried weight. It wasn't just semantics. A suicide could mean loss of death benefits for Foust's family. A training accident could preserve them. At least that was the justification we were given. But in labeling it that way, they'd also rewritten reality. I watched as they sanitized the scene, not just of physical evidence, but of truth itself. The official narrative began to take shape before Foust's body had even been removed. A narrative that would protect the institution at the expense of honesty. Senior officers spoke in hushed tones about unfortunate incidents and operational security. Phrases that served to distance everyone from what had actually happened. A Marine, one of our own, had taken his life while on duty. That was the first time I saw how truth could be edited. How the official truth could be made to serve an agenda. In the days that followed, we weren't encouraged to discuss what happened. Foust's personal effects disappeared from his quarters. His name became something mentioned only in whispers. The machinery of institutional self-preservation moved with remarkable efficiency, transforming a suicide into an accident, a personal tragedy into an administrative inconvenience. I stayed in the Corps after that, but I wasn't the same. That night planted something in me. A distrust, a refusal to take official statements at face value. I began to notice other instances where reality was adjusted to fit preferred narratives. Small at first, then increasingly significant. Training incidents where safety violations were downplayed. Disciplinary actions that seemed more about protecting certain individuals than maintaining standards. Equipment failures attributed to operator error rather than maintenance deficiencies. By 2011, I was discharged, The paperwork said alcohol rehabilitation failure. The Corps made it sound like the drinking was the disease, but I knew better. The drinking was just a bandage on something deeper. PTSD, though I couldn't